Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Desert Dusk eyeshadow palette by Huda Beauty. I think everybody has been waiting for this ever since she announced it a couple of months ago. After the success of last year's rose gold textured palette, I think quite a lot of people were really excited to see what this palette would be like and how it compared to the last one. So let me just go through all the normal basic stuff that I have to before the video. So let me just firstly show you what the box itself that it comes in looks like. So it's just a very standard metallic looking kind of box. You can see the shadows of the sand behind it, and that's about it. It's just a flimsy cardboard box really, nothing too special. And because I'm going to be doing a random comparison, I just wanted to show you what the last one looked like. So the last one, which I kept because I couldn't help myself, it just came as a sleeve. So it is nice to have a little bit of a change. But to be fair, I've kept the sleeve because I really liked the style of like the design on it. But with this one, I won't keep it. I can get rid of it. This time she was really smart and had the actual image superimposed onto the cardboard itself. This bit here, Huda Beauty, is raised. The rest is all completely flat. But if you look at her eyes, you can see that she has got the eyeshadow on it. Huda does the most amazing packaging. I love all her packaging. It comes in a fairly sturdy box, a little bit more sturdier, I would say, than the last one. And then when you open it up, inside is actually a sleeve. Let me place it onto the actual eyeshadow palette that you can see it. So as you can see, it's a repeat of what is on the front, but it's just like a cover to keep all the eyeshadows kind of neat and tidy. But at the same time, rather than being boring and see-through like all the other brands, it's actually got the eyes on it, which just gives it that little bit of something extra, I would say. I don't know about you guys, but I always tend to try and keep the sleeves as much as possible. It just keeps things a little bit more neat and tidy, especially if you've got a mirror on the inside. Now, her previous palette did not have a mirror. It was just clear so you could see the eyeshadows. This one has got a very, very large, pretty much the same size as the palette, mirror on it, and it's actually very, very good quality and very clear. So another reason why you want to kind of keep this on there, so that you don't end up with eyeshadow all over the mirror, even though I've already got fingerprints on it, but you know what I'm saying. So just like her last palette, this has got 18 shades inside it, 18 eyeshadows, and I'm just going to read it on the back while I'm holding it up. It just says high pigmentation, easy to blend, talc free, 18 eyeshadows in 4 ready to layer textures, 8 buttery mattes, 6 pressed pearls, 3 duochrome toppers, and 1 daring glitter. Mix and layer textures to create your own look. Dab the toppers on the center or all over your lids for a shiny pop. Layer an extra coat using your fingers for an extreme iridescent finish. Apply the pure glitter all over or line eyes with a firm flat brush to give your look a playful hint of shine. Just thought I'd read that because it was just like staring at me in the face. So this retails in at £56. That makes it one of the most expensive eyeshadow palettes on the market. Why is there always a fly in here? Go! You're not invited in the video. Get out. Sorry about that. £56 is expensive. This is how much the same, this is exactly the same price as the last palette as well. And I'm not sure if you guys remember, I said that the Huda Beauty, the Rose Gold Edition palette was my favourite, one of my favourite palettes of 2016. It was that palette, the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and the Holy Grail palette by Violet Voss. Those were my 3 top eyeshadow palettes of 2016, and I have continuously used those into 2017 as well. Now we are in September. This was launched on the 18th of September and today is the 24th. I've worn it a couple of times, and like I said, I've actually filmed a makeup tutorial for you guys using this eyeshadow palette as well, just so that you guys can, I can give you an option, or you have an option in different ways how to use it and whatnot. But £56 is pricey, and I do have to say that considering we're coming towards the end of the year, I can't genuinely say that I've come across an eyeshadow palette which I've really just fallen in love with. I do have to say now that this one is that one. So far, considering we're in September, the 9th month of the year, it's taken 9 months for me to finally find one which I absolutely love for the year of 2017. So I got mine from Cult Beauty in the UK. Why is my hair so frizzy? And they ship internationally. You can get it at Sephora, or you can get it direct from Huda Beauty's website as well. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, which one is the best one of the 2? So here is the rose gold one. It's had a lot of love. We will be hitting pan soon on a couple of them. So this is this one, and then this is this one. Which one do you think is my favorite? I love this. Oh my god, this one, forget it. Just forget it. It's just not good enough anymore. I love this eyeshadow palette. I've seen a couple of people's reviews, one or two, and they've had issues with it, and it's the usual thing. Like, it reminds me of the Subculture palette. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, just don't make a review, okay? Don't even try. Especially if you're going to do a first impressions. You've only used it the one time, and then you're going to give a negative review when you haven't even used all the eyeshadows. Now, out of all of these 18 in here, I have probably not used 3 or 4, I'd say, but I've used pretty much all of them, enough for me to be able to give you guys a genuine review. I have used it today, I used it yesterday, I used it the day before, I'll use it tomorrow and the day after to come up with as many different types of looks as possible. Follow me on Instagram at Charlena, where you can see me putting up my looks every single day, so that you don't just rely on this video and just this makeup look that I've got on now to go by. In case you're wondering what kind of looks you can come up with if you're trying to make a decision about whether or not you want to buy it. Now, I love it. I love it. And the reason why I think this is so much more better than the last one, I think the last one, a lot of people had issues with the textured eyeshadows, in that you couldn't really use a brush to apply it. You had to use your fingers, and they flaked off quite a bit. Now, I genuinely really like that palette, but I still used to get really annoyed with those ones that I had to apply with my finger. Now, a lot of these you do have to apply with your finger as well, but I don't find them to be as annoying as the last one. I love the mix of shades. I mean, it's called Desert Sands for a reason. I mean, she's written it on the back of the box. Immerse yourself in the soft warmth of the desert, rays of sunset light washing the sky, and dunes with rich hues of changing plums, corals, ochres and golds. So that is the reason why, if you're wondering some of the names, they don't sound very deserty. Like angelic, like that's what's so deserty about that. It's also to do with the sunset and things like that. I do have to say that there is a very big difference in terms of shades when it comes from one palette to the other palette. This is another very warm tone palette. There are a couple of cool shades in there, but the last palette was all warm tones. But I do have to say that whereas this palette was very much focused towards pinks and purples and reds and browns, this one is more focused towards kind of oranges and browns, golds, and then very shimmery shades as well, and quite a few neutral type shades at the top as well. So you know what, if you were to have both of these, it wouldn't be such a big deal. There wouldn't really be much repetition in terms of shades. I mean, there's one brown in here called Oud, and the only brown in this one is called Cocoa, but they are different. This is more of a reddish brown, and this one is more of a brown. And then you've got the shade called Henna, which is slightly similar to the shade Amber. And other than that, oh no, wait, there is 2 same shades. Angelic is in this one, and Angelic is in that one as well, so that's a repetition. But I loved Angelic from what I recall. Yeah, nice hefty dent in there. And what else? Suede and Musk could be similar, but Suede is a lot darker, Musk is a lot more pale. And then all the rest of the shades are very unique to themselves. There are similar shades, but not too similar for you guys to find it annoying. So altogether there are, as it says, 8 buttery mattes. I find all the mattes very easy to blend. They kick up a little bit of dust, same as the last palette, but nothing too annoying, nothing like Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows. Similar to like Makeup Geek, I would say, just a normal amount of powder that kicks up. You only need to dab your brush into the mattes very gently and then start to build up that colour. But I don't have any issues with any patchiness or anything like that. Now, in terms of the 6 pressed pearls, so they would be Blood Moon, Royal, Nefertiti, Turkish Delight, Angelic and Cashmere. Thick, buttery and absolutely stunning. I love them. Love them. They are really velvety to the touch. You have to be quite careful. The one thing I realized is they are so intensely pigmented This one here, Royal, because today was the first time I used it. I pressed my brush into it a little bit too hard and I noticed the amount of product that came away. So go in with a very, very, very light hand, and then you will get full color payoff, no issues, no problems whatsoever. This shade Blood Moon, oh my god, it's gorgeous. I will swatch it for you. Again, I will link my Instagram page so you guys can see, because I've actually already worn Blood Moon. It's absolutely stunning. These pressed pearls are just gorgeous. So this also came with 3 duochrome toppers. So that's Retrograde, Twilight and Celestial. I'll be very honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Retrograde. I applied it on top of, I think it was Angelic the other day, and it didn't really do that much. I mean, I think it's maybe one of those shades that might go quite well on its own, or on top of something very pale like Musk. But when I wore it on top of Angelic, it just kind of mixed in with the shade, and I just didn't find that it was as intense as the other two. Twilight is what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing it on top of the shade Royal. It's gorgeous. It's the most stunning duochrome shade. And Celestial is an amazing duochrome shade. It's a switch between gold and pink. And if I get up really close, I don't know how much you can see, but I'm wearing it on my tear duct and I applied it wet. Oh my god. Applying these wet, by the way, just intenses that, just makes that sheen that more metallic and more intense and more in your face. Is gorgeous. Then there is one pressed glitter in here, Cosmo. This is the only one that I've not really used yet, but from what I've seen, it's quite easy to apply. You just need to press your finger onto it and then pack it on. But the color itself is so pretty, so sparkly, and I love it. I love the thing that I love, I think, the most about this palette is that there are such a variety of different types of textures. How many palettes do you come across that have got a pressed glitter in it, and one that's actually quite good? That's another thing, because it's not like I haven't swatched these and played with these on my hands, even though I may not have necessarily used all of them on my eyes. They are so easy to mix and match. You can come up with so many different amazing looks with this palette. You can go from simple daytime looks to nighttime looks. You know, if you've got just a plain look going on just at the end of the evening, you want to go out, just take a bit of Twilight, just kind of pack it on the top there, and then off you go. I cannot rave about this palette highly enough. I'm so impressed with it. If another palette does not come out between now and the end of the year, let's just call this one my favorite palette of 2017. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some finger swatches. Bear in mind, they are finger swatches, completely different to what it's like applying it with a brush, but just gonna have to take my word for it. And what else? Oh, on my lips I'm wearing Huda Beauty's Material Girl. Like I said, it's an all Huda Beauty look today. This first shade is called Desert Sand, and it is a very pale beige matte shade, which is why you can see why I tend to use it all over my eye, as it's almost invisible on my skin tone, which is very beige. This shade is called Musk. This one is another very pale shade. It's very light taupe colour. Would work well in the crease if you're going for like an everyday sort of look, or as a very soft transitional shade. I think it will work well with the shade Cashmere. This shade is called Eden. This one is another matte shade, and it's a very soft peach colour. To touch it, it feels slightly gritty, but I don't have that issue when I pick it up on the brush. This one I have used every single day, as it's an amazing... Sorry, I've got a cold again. My nose is a bit blocked. Yeah, it's a very soft peachy shade, a really nice transitional colour to really have like a soft everyday sort of look in the crease. This shade is called Amber. This one is a gorgeous kind of reddish orangey ochre shade. Beautiful matte colour. This one is called Blood Moon. This one is one of the pressed pearls. Seriously, does this even need an introduction? Look at it. Oh my god. So I used Eden on my crease and I used a Blood Moon on the lid, and oh my god, can I just tell you, it just looked stunning. This one is called Oud, and this one is a reddish brown matte shade. It's gorgeous. Looks amazing used in the outer V to really darken up any look that you have. This one is called Celestial. This one is one of my favourites. Even though it's supposed to be like a glitter topper, it just doesn't have the same consistency as the other two. I think this will work really well on its own, because that's what I've been doing. I've been applying it to my tear duct. It's a gold with a pink shift to it, and it's very, very soft and buttery and easy to use, and looks amazing when used wet as well. And this one is named after the Egyptian queen Nefertiti. This one is a very pale gold shade. It's not as intense as the other pressed pearls. This one is the least impressive of the pressed pearls, I would say. This one is called Twilight. And this one is one of the glitter toppers. It's very iridescent, mix of like blues and purples. It looks amazing on top of other eyeshadows. This, I would say, is the best performing topper. This is called Amethyst. This one is slightly disappointing in the sense that it's not the way that it appears on the pan. Now, to touch it with my finger, it feels quite gritty, but I didn't have that issue with my brush. But it is not as intense in shade as it appears on the eyes. Now, even though I'm wearing it on my eyes today, I had to go in with quite a few layers to get that colour to really build it up. As you can see, even with a finger swatch, and I had to swatch it twice, it's still not as intense as some of the other mattes. This shade is called Royal. Now, whereas the one next to it is such a letdown, this pressed pearl is absolutely stunning. It's a gorgeous kind of wine coloured shade with lots of shimmer in it. It's very pigmented, very buttery, and very easy to blend and apply. And then this last shade on this end is called Retrograde. Not sure how much you can even see of this. It's on the end. It's a very weird colour. It's like a silvery brown. It's a duochrome. I just don't like it. It's just not enough as a topper, as a duochrome topper. This shade is called Blazing. This one is a very warm toned, very vibrant orange shade. It's only slightly gritty, not as gritty as some of the other ones, but it's very easy to blend, and I love this colour. This shade is called Saffron. Very beautiful matte shade. It's a definite, like a warm red shade, but this is 2 layers. As a finger swatch, it's not so good. I find that it definitely picks up more on your brush. But again, I feel like it's one of those ones like Amethyst where you have to really go in quite a few times to build up the intensity that you want it to be. Shade is called Turkish Delight. What a gorgeous shade. It's like a shimmery red. Shimmery reddish burgundy. Is absolutely gorgeous. Buttery and beautiful shine. So this one is called Cosmo. So as you can see, it's a beautiful kind of bronzy reddish shade. But can you see how patchy it is? But that's because I swiped it along with my finger. I definitely feel that you will have to... I mean, I know they say you don't have to apply something sticky with it, but I would say something is needed, because even if I go like this, it's coming off. So you can imagine what it will be like when you go out in public. Next thing you know, you got glitter all over your face. It is called Angelic. And this one is a beautiful pink with gold duochrome to it. It's like the opposite of Celestial. Celestial's a gold with a pink flip. This is a pink with a gold flip. And this last shade on the end is called Cashmere. And this one is a beautiful silvery taupe shade. Very buttery. It's one of the pressed pearls. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that is all the swatches of the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Some of the mattes are kind of scratchy, but you can still work with them. I am using Amethyst on my eyes today, and I had to go in about 4 times to get that colour to really build up to the intensity that it looked like this. The thing is, the way that they look in the pan, especially shades like Saffron and even Blazing, they don't necessarily show up that way on the eyes. You have to really build up that colour. So on that basis, I'm going to have to downgrade it to a 9. But still, I absolutely freaking love it. I think it's an amazing palette. I'm genuinely really happy with it. I'm sure I will figure out a way to use Cosmo, sorry about that, a little bit better. I thought my phone was on silent. What do you want? Who is it? I'll figure it out. Anyway, so that's it really. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video and review with swatches of the Desert Dusk palette by Huda Beauty. I have seen on her Snapchat she is releasing a new winter solstice highlighting palette soon. Her foundations will be dropping in October as well, which will be very interesting to see how they come out. I know the range is going to be huge. And for those of you that have bought this, let me know what your thoughts are below. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you love it? How do you prefer it to the previous one, if you did get the previous one? And for those of you that haven't got it yet, what do you think? Are you going to get it? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know below. Other than that, I hope you guys are wonderful and great, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.